collective energy reading. Someone could be getting this accelerated motion. Action is surreal. So they're feeling that accelerated motion because they're seeing it's connected, that higher awareness. A motorbike, a car just went going past, and I've seen somebody stressed in the mind because they're looking at these illusions. That's the confusions. They could be in hermit, they're gaining that strength. They may even be looking at your accelerated strength, and they may be wanting to be able to gain strength to be able to come and give you justice. They may see you as that abundance, gentle, soon. They was dishonest. They can tell you, oh, it was a divine intervention. You may know that it was a divine intervention. That might be the tea on the street that you need to hear, that the Most High divinely guided you. They've seen that certain people was trying to block you. They gave you that introspection. They had to take the actions because it was an unexpected guidance from the universe. It was stepping in. It was redirecting your path. Those divine feminines and masculines. You just got saved just in time. Like Saved by the Bell. What was that? Beverly Hills High. So they was in Beverly Hills High. They was like cuffing season there, just seeing those signs. They can see you're like that top CEO. They're at the crossroads. So don't you be lonely. Meet me at the crossroads. So don't you be lonely. So they maybe wanted to meet you at the crossroads because they're looking at that soul contract. Take it all as it resonates. And they're looking at these fated karmic relationships. So they could have gone on that karmic cycle. 1954. They're having that higher clarity, that awakening. They was gambling that choice because this is masculine. They're gaining introspection. They're in hermit. They're gaining higher clarity now. That's that life force. They could see you as a part of that life force and the actions that they took. They're growing wisdom. They're in Jupiter. I have in that higher clarity because they're gaining inner standing the way they're gaining structure, even the way you're gaining structure, your achievements, because that's their ending, that karmic cycle. They're 1955, so they're looking now because it's stress and conflict in their mind. They're looking back. This could be a Leo, gaining introspection, getting steadfast, organizing that Capricorn energy. They're looking at Sagittarius, higher wisdom. They could be cross-cultural, cross-religion, different backgrounds. They could be looking now. They could have to go court, law, because they was in that childlike spirit, gambling. They didn't have introspection. This could have been certain people trying to take control over your masculine because they didn't have that clarity of wisdom. Take it all as it resonates. That was that bag secured. They was trying to be able to secure bags, money, all secure, property, assets. 10. Two-faced. You're going to see how these people was two-faced. The way how they was moving and the way how they showed themselves in public, and they was in that childlike spirit. They was gambling. They was detached from those emotions. They could have been like Jekyll and Hyde, 5-5, the ego. 1 minute you're nice, 1 minute you switch like a bitch, 1 minute you like, you come in like the Addams Family. They could have seen you like Elvira. You get me? Securing your bag. You can see they was two-faced, giving these broken promises because they have these soul contracts. Take this all as it resonates, guys. Always leave the rest for the best because they rented a dress, waited, and that tablet. So they could be looking at this rental address and they could see it. It was on a tablet, a computer, or on a phone. So you could see these soul contracts. They were trying to be able to secure a property. They thought they had shit in the bag. Now they're looking at that karmic cycle because of their mindset towards money and the things that they possess. They're now looking back because of these confusions, illusions, or because of their habit, things what they was valuing. Now they're looking at these value things. They got broken promises. They was around fake karmic energies, family members and friends. Now they're looking about the close enemies that they was around. That wasn't two-faced. That's when you meet your match. 1 minute you like, 2-2 just switch like a bitch. And then now they're feeling that. Because they say one thing and do another thing they portrayed. Lie, cheat. One of them. I'm not going to school. So they could be saying, oh my gosh, they've got around a child now. They could be looking at this contract for this child and saying, I'm not going to school. Nose itching. Take it all as it resonates, guys, because they're being indecisive now because about people or the teachers or the people or the parents that they're around. They could be telling the parent that they're saying, I'm not going to school. Lose the ability to feel love for my child. So they're losing this ability. So they could be losing this contract. They could have had to look now because they've had to go and give the child to another parent. And they're have broken hearted now because they're losing that ability to feel because love for that child because of these contracts. Take this all as it resonates. You could be just identifying that there's sudden changes about these indecisive adventures that was taken. You went around considered what my answers. You went around and considered what the answers were. They went around and considered their own thoughts of their answers when they was breaking up because they was indecisive. That's because they wasn't able to make that choice. They didn't have that fair mind. That's because they was indecisive of their mind. They didn't have that clarity. That's because they was two-faced and restless and stubborn. Always your ass on the line, just by standard. So always their ass on the line, just by standard, because the way how they acted and they was indecisive. They weren't able to make that positive choice because they was not balanced. They was not clarity, that stability, that nurturing. They wasn't enabled to be able to do stuff because they possess lack mindset, like indecisive and confusion, all because illusions, because of their habits, what they was hiding. Take this all as it resonates. Finally find myself in perfect intuition in work. That's looking at the relationship, something I never had before. That's why I screwed it up. So now they was two-faced. They could have screwed up the relationship because they was indecisive, because they was too busy like in those low dense energies, having extra energies with Tom, Dick and Harry, possessing, or because they was manipulating, controlling, condescending, and that brought out that anger side of them when they was just trying to secure a bag. If you care, do something, prove it. So they may be coming to be able to bring you a goal, a mission accomplished, to bring you moolah, baby. They maybe want to be able to come and give you a gift now because they're looking back. That soul contract, that's that transformation. They're in Pluto, gaining introspection. That could be a fire sign. They're now looking at their self now. That's like your presence and gaining that strength. When you was in that ego, and that was all because of your pride, and that's you having to fight and tame that lion from inside of you. Because they're looking back at these soul contracts now. And that's mirroring those memories of love. So they're looking back at the soul contracts, memories of love, 20. So that's judgment that's taken place, because that's that crown chakra. It's that high clarity. It's awakening 7. That spiritual, guys. That's when you didn't have that discerning, and you look back at the contract. It's that high awakening, that balance and justice. Because when you was indecisive in regards to those relationships, they could have been gambling with you, with other people, family members, friends, close enemies. They put themselves back on that karmic cycle. They wasn't grounded. Now they're getting that high awareness, that clarity, even in regards to who you was. You was spiritually woke. You was fair, caring. And now they're stressed because they're looking at the partnerships, and that's the alliances that broke them, family members and friends. 3. All because they had a social awareness of you, the way how you communicated. You had that higher clarity. You was moving. You was expanding. You had that wholeness. They was watching you, your partner, the family members and friends in that community, because the way how you was able to nurture yourself, you was connected to the divine. You listened to that spirit within inside of you. That was your mind, your heart, your whole body, your soul. You had the 7 chakras, the 7 lamps that was lit. Now they're having that awakening. They're having that spiritual box, that left and that right side, straight in the neck back. Boom. And they're looking at the partnerships, gaining higher wisdom. Who was grounded? Who was doing things in the unknown? Now they're getting that clarity about love. They're looking at you, seeing you are a part of that Empress. Take this all as it resonates, because they can see a social awareness of you. This is this divine masculine. They was having a social awareness, out socializing. They could have 7 installed you with family members and friends. Take this all as it resonates, to be able to leave you out in the cold. So you're conflicted. Now they're stressed because they're trapped, because they was in fear. They was doing these things because they're illusions. They didn't want to be able to transform and grow. That family member and friend is stressed now because they was holding on like a golden calf. That's when I keep speaking about these Jezebel spirits, and don't do to others that you wouldn't want to be done to yourself. Because when the table's turned and you're preparing a table in the presence of those enemies, they're not going to like it. They're going to be upset. Because when you get back and you're connected and you're spiritually, emotionally, mentally working hard, and you've got these skills, and they're socially got a social awareness of you, and they're unbalanced, indecisive in their mind, so they're sat in silence. They thought they was going to silence you. So you had that lack mindset. You had these boundaries in place. You had that higher awareness. You connected to the divine, the spiritual guys, guided, gave you that higher wisdom, philosophical knowledge. They was in a childlike spirit, gambling you, your relationship. 5952. Now they're getting that clarity. It's a tower moment. 1, 2, 3. What you going to do? Sit down. Look at the people who thought they had these hidden powers and the choices that they made. Take this all as it resonates. You could see that they did spell work, lying, speaking, trying to be able to secure your partner. Possessing. 2, for money, stability, extra energies. 5, because it was in the ego, childlike spirit, gambling, out, socializing, partying, leaving you out in the cold so you could have stress and grief. That's because they didn't have boundaries. all because you spoke truth and you had high awareness, clarity. You sat on the rock. You said that I and I, oh, Jah guide me. I'm on the rock. Now tell my enemies, I'm on that rock. Oh, Jah guide me, to give you balance in that understanding, to be able to understand that they was full of shit. Continuously keep on going, get that spiritual wisdom, get clarity of mind, look at the actions, balance yourself, higher awareness, cleanse yourself with the white, look at the actions that people was taking. You gain that introspection about the things that they did in the unknown because of their habits, because of what they was trying to possess. Take this all as it resonates, guys, because when you're serving and you're securing and you're enabling yourself, because that's your sacral chakra, certain people try to block you about your foundations and that memory of love, and that was all about transformation, because their mindset towards money and that service in the community and the people within that community, they wasn't balanced within their mind. Now they're seeing that you're a high priestess and you're out serving and you're enabling people to be able to grow, and you're taking action, securing your back, and now they're feeling stuck in their back. If anything happens, I take the blame. So now they're saying about this contract, those family members and friends, the masculine, the feminine, one of them saying if anything happens, I'll take the blame. So now one of them's trying to be able to take the blame, so they're going to be hiding things now, because they're restless, they're feeling stressed, and they was indecisive when they was being very adventurous, or because they had a great willpower and they see your creativity. Facts. Said, oh, because money, and they was being a fool, and they was gambling in that childlike spirit. But you had to see, because you was protective, you was brave, and they see your powerful skills. Said you connected nicely, assertive, more direct, they too overbearing, egotistical, not a team player. So they was egotistical because their mindset was, they was like that money, the root of all evil. They was like that low energy to keep you in those low chakras, so you couldn't grow because of their mindset, and they was trying to be able to do things, to be able to possess things. But you was like that Venus, that love. You had balance, so you was dependent, and that's depending on when you're moving and how direct you are and how that direct they were. Because when they was in that Mars energy, and they didn't want to change because that was like their physical energy now, and they're feeling stressed, so they're feeling anxiety now because they're feeling unbalanced in their mind. My neighbour and his girlfriends, friends go all the time. It was fun, was worth the $300. So they could have been out with their friends and their neighbours, socialising, going, picking packs, working alongside each other. There was that partying, going different places, and they was promising, giving these heartbreaks. It's medically necessary. So they could have been going, they could have been given an extra energies, and it was medically necessary. All the time, they went all the time. They could have been given anything, extra blood, extra taking steps, and not knowing about what actions they're doing, love to other people, and giving that. That's what they was doing. Two sexual energies with different people. They was taking up being a fool. They could have been OnlyFans. They could have been a hard out here for a pimp, because they didn't have high clarity. They need to be able to go now. They might need to be able to go and seek some help, because that's when they thought they was anchoring down certain things. Now they may need to be able to get higher education, higher awareness about these partners and the way how they was out socializing. They could have even slept with somebody else and shared partners and brought these broken promises, two-faced. Now they're stressed because of these illusions, what they had, and those people taking actions, holding on to golden calves and blocking it for money because it was for assets, and it wasn't transforming and changing, and it was in that childlike spirit, didn't grow and didn't have that high wisdom, not letting them grieve twice. So they didn't want you to be trapped in fear because it was two-faced. They didn't want you to grieve twice. They didn't want to grieve twice. They might not want their son to grieve twice. This will be about a child. It says, my son, he will be so ashamed of me. So they're feeling like their son's going to be ashamed of him. They don't want him to grieve twice about these relationships and this feminine energy, about the actions that they took, that they was detached because they're feeling insecure now because they was unorganized and they wasn't using the intelligence because it wasn't grounded mentally, emotionally, physically. Take this all as it resonates. because they was just too busy moving towards this abundance. Now they're seeing that they was dishonest, and they maybe wanted to be able to bring you this justice, because they're seeing that illusions now. So they're getting this higher clarity, because there's that crown chakra's activated. And that's that death, it's that awakening, that's that transition, because they're seeing this could be one of your family members, a friend, a close enemy. They're looking at that soul contract, your partner. They could have took action, used magic, feminine energy, thought they was using their intuitions, because it was being two-faced, bad mind, clinging on to your masculine, feminine. Take it all as it resonates. They didn't have balance. There was a bitter bitch. This is somebody from your past. Now they're looking back towards you because there's broken promises, because of the contracts what they made, and they was delivering a service, and they was stabbing you in your back for money, because they was trying to be able to seek, possess and seek. Now they get the inner standing, because they had a social awareness of you. They was trying to be stubborn, and they was trying to possess your partner and seek a property, inheritance. 9. They may have to go court because they had a social awareness of you, and they was insecure. This could be your family members and friends. Now they're having this nostalgia. They're looking back at you. They can see you're highly favoured. You've got high awareness. They maybe want to come and travel towards you now. Take this all as it resonates. This masculine may come to your home. May see you as a part of their home, because they're seeing you looking back now. Ace of Swords, clarity and truth, new ideas, victory, turmoil. They're trapped in fear. They was two-faced. They didn't want to change. Now they're having that awakening. They want to travel to come towards you. This is this Page of Wands. They're looking back at that memories of love. They're excited. They could be coming in quick and fast, because they're having that spark. It's that awakening, that divine connection. Take it all as it resonates, guys. Always leave the rest for the best. Don't stress, because if you're stressing, it's all inside of you, because you've got no balance. You need nurturing. They may need nurturing now. They may see you as that nurturer, carer. They were stubborn in their mind, detached from their emotions, or because of their mindset. Now they're looking back, ancestor lineage, 12 karmic cycle. Now they're having that balance and looking back towards you and saying, oh my gosh, you are my divine feminine. They're using their intuitions. They may have want to take a forward and take that leap to come and give you justice. I wanted to earn you back. I wanted you to love me like you did. Sorry. So they were trying to do these things, but it was the family members that tried to possess certain things over you. Take it all as it resonates, because they was a fool. I know him. Deleted him in dealt with him in high school. Red horse's ass. So they could have known him from high school and could have rode their ass. Oh, and then went back and rode their ass because they had a social awareness, and it was to do it because they thought they was using their intelligence. They was detached. They was not compromising. They wasn't using their imaginations, because this was all for stability. This was for like home and assets, and so people could see you, and they thought that they was gaining something. They was acting like they was a high priestess, and yes, I'm caring and nurturing, but there's a bit of bitch. Who is to blame? Both. You always tell the truth. So who's to blame? Because you be telling the truth. Someone's lying. Someone lying. That night, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that night when you was having that extra energy and you had a great leap of faith and you was being a fool, and then you thought you was being called because you was possessing what? You was in a childlike spirit with what? A family member and a friend. Why? Somebody who had a social awareness of you, who was close. Look for an opponent or apartment. Oh, so you was there talking to be able to look for an apartment because you was on that 12 karmic cycle. So you went and took that leap of faith and was a fool and had that extra energy. Caught yourself, got trapped up, and now you're stuck because you got fucked up. Okay. She's the one that should be punished. I should sue her. So you should sue them. Or they're trying to say that you should be punished. Why? Because you're speaking and they can hear you speaking because you're a high priestess. They are a high priestess. They was trying to possess things. They was a fool. Oh, they had these hidden powers. They thought there was a magician trying to be creative and block you because it was being selfish, clinging on, trying to secure a property, assets. Okay, spirit, scene. 17, now they're gaining clarity in regards to who you was. Oh, because they was a fool and used these hidden skills. A family member, a friend, a close enemy to you, did sexual energies and spell work. Okay, spirit, thank you. She's either sleeping, ordering laundry. She don't have nothing going on in her life. That could be somebody who was a Taurus, an Aries. What else we got? We got Geminis. Put it together. We'll have a Leo. We'll have Cancer. And we'll have a Virgo. Are your memories of them enough for you? So now they could be looking at, are your memories enough for you? And then they're like, no, the memories aren't enough. It's because of stress and anxiety. I don't know what to do. And I'm going to speak this shit towards you. Now I want to run. Because now I want to know, I'm looking back towards that person. I was a fool. I wasn't looking when I was having sex with you. And I don't feel happy. I don't love you. Now I'm gaining clarity. They're gaining clarity. You can keep fighting. Or you can come with me. You didn't once ask what happened. So what happened when you was being a fool and you was having that extra energy and you was trying to possess these things and you didn't have that clarity of mind and you was using that magic spell work and you was in your ego? Why? Trying to save or sue, but you might lose forever. Take it all as it resonates.